West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, at the Commander Julia. And today's topic is the atonement.
That's right.
This is the time we got to understand what the atonement actually is. To atone for something means to appease. It has to do with appeasing from the Lord's wrath. You see what I'm saying? Just like that fake Israelite group that we battled in Cincinnati Sunday, they had no idea of what atonement actually meant for real. You see what I'm saying? That's why they couldn't understand the 2,000-year prophecy.
Right.
They couldn't understand it because they have no real idea of atonement for real. As a matter of fact, they would have been grateful that the Lord did not come back in 2000. You see what I'm saying? They would have thought, man, if they were actually a grateful people, they would have thought, man, I'm so glad that the Lord extended the time period. They would have been grateful because they would have been like, man, I would have been the truth. In the year 2000, who had an idea of being an Israelite? I just found out about this thing in 2008. No, actually 2010, rather.
Right.
I just found out about us being Israel in 2010. So hell, I'd have been 10 years in the negative, huh?
Right.
So, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about, you know what I'm saying? Anybody else, they're not seeing it that way. Their mind is blocked. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so busy, with 2,000-year prophecy, and it failed. The Lord always has, his greatest. What is his greatest attribute? For anybody that called themselves a person that know the Bible, the Lord's greatest attribute is his mercy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like when the Lord said that he was going to destroy Nineveh in 40 days, right? Did the Lord destroy it in 40 days? No, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you why he didn't. He didn't destroy it in 40 days for the same reason why that he didn't destroy America in 2000. Let me tell you why. Because the people that came into the truth.
Right.
The Lord sent out the message. You see what I'm saying? He tells his prophets what to say. And then his prophets go out and they say what he said, and the Lord thinks, and the Lord see what they're doing. And then he sat back and he thinks, now, wait a minute. Because his mercy comes into play and he thinks, I'm going to extend the time.
Right.
I know what the prophets said. But I'm going to extend, I know what I told them to say. But I'm going to extend the time. And that's the thing. You know what? That's the thing that's supposed to bring the praise. Right? That right there? That's where the praise is supposed to come out of. You see what I'm saying? That right there, just like King David said many times, the Lord's mercy endures forever. And that was a man that understood the heart of the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said, Thy mercies endure forever. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful as hell. Mercy actually can change, has the ability to change the Lord's mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's one thing, the Lord, he's living. And he has compassion and he has a heart and he understands. He's like, damn. I know they messing up. You know what I'm saying? But damn, what are they gonna be without me?
Right.
And that's the way the Lord thinks about things. He's like, what are they gonna actually be without me? That's when his mercy kicks in and his compassion kicks in. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm going to extend the time. That's where the praise is supposed to spark out of. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where it's supposed to spark out of. We see that mercy right there. We're like, man. You know what I'm saying? And that whole attribute of mercy is one of the key things that brings brothers into the truth. You see what I'm saying? It's not, I know a lot of people think it's like the hardcore, you know what I'm saying? Which that has its place too.
All right.
But that mercy though, because we think about what we deserve. And once we think about what we deserve, then we're like, damn. And then we think about how he is, and then that's when we actually start to know him. You know what I'm saying? We start to think about his greatest attribute, and then that's how we start our journey actually into knowing. Because that same mercy or attribute that he has towards us is the same merciful attribute that Moses had in the wilderness when Moses could have killed many people in the wilderness, and the Lord would have been like, if that's what my servant Moses say, then that's what will be done. But what did he do when the Korah came to him, in a rage? The mercy that was in Moses that came from the Most High, because he embodied the character of the Most High in the wilderness. Instead, what did he do? He went into prayer. He did the same thing that Christ did in the Garden of Gethsemane. You know what I'm saying? Christ went into prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane. You know what I'm saying? With all the people that wanted to kill him, when he could have easily wiped them out. He could have easily sent the word and the command, and could you imagine what that slaughter would have looked like?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what this Day of Atonement is about. This Day of Atonement is about that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a day that we think of what we actually deserve from what the Lord, in contrast to the Lord, what the Lord is actually offering to us. You see what I'm saying? And he's offering to us mercy.
That's right.
He's offering to us a chance to get it right and for us to get back on track and do what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Well, we know what we did all throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? We know what we did. You know what I'm saying? And so does he.
That's right.
So this is the time to shake all that out. You know what I'm saying? It's a time to, what else to say? Time to, uncircumcise, to circumcise ourselves.
Right.
This is what this is a time for. You know what I'm saying? This time is important. This is one of the most, as a matter of fact, this is one of the most important feast days, outside of that. It probably is the most important day outside of the Passover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is serious right here. This is very serious. You see what I'm saying? What we do today, what people don't understand, what we actually do today could decide to make the Lord decide to have mercy on the drug dealer that lives up the street. You see what I'm saying? This could cause the Most High to have mercy upon people that so don't deserve it.
Right.
This is an intercession, type of deal. You see what I'm saying? And specifically the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? The tribe of Judah, Christ is the intercessor for the nation, right? Christ come of the tribe of Judah. So the truth is also built with the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah lays down the foundation and the stones. You see what I'm saying? So if we, if we would actually be, have a piece of that intercessory spirit right there.
All right.
That would sprinkle to the other tribes, and that would start to get them to, and then next thing you know, that would sprinkle to the whole nation, to the people that don't even deserve it, because that's what we're supposed to actually be doing. We're supposed to be praying on their behalf and beseeching on their behalf also.
Right.
Because we're supposed to follow the chief example, and the chief example was Christ. You see what I'm saying? Christ was the example of that. So what should we do? Blindly follow and do the same thing. Now let me get into the scriptures. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 27. On the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. it shall be a holy convocation unto you, meaning a separate convocation. And ye shall afflict your souls. What does it mean to afflict your soul? To afflict your soul actually means to actually not do the things that you would normally like to do. That's
Right.
an affliction. You see what I'm saying? And we should have ourselves to the point to where, like, we knew that we was getting ready to be hit by the heathens tomorrow. All of a sudden, and we was beseeching the Lord on because of this. What are the things that we would actually do? I mean, who the hell would actually have an appetite? To be honest with you, who would want to eat anything? No one. You see what I'm saying? You'd be too damn afraid. You know what I'm saying? You actually wouldn't want to eat. You'll be want to sit there thinking, you know what I'm saying, about, all the things that you do, your shortcomings and all of this, you know what I'm saying? You'll be thinking about all of these things, And in those things, of course, you would want a piece of that greatest characteristic of the Most High, which is His mercy. You'd want a piece of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is why the Day of Atonement is so important. It's not just a day that you don't go without eating anything or drinking nothing. That's not what it actually is. It's not only just about that. That's not the whole of the matter right there. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go ahead and make that connection.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's time to go ahead and connect and just, be like, man, and what, just let the Lord know, shit, I fell short this year. You know what I'm saying? This is the day that I want to, if you will, grant me this, you know what I'm saying? Where I can rise up, in power for this next year and all the years after this to come. You know what I'm saying? Power to overcome the things that they gave you such problems in the past. You know what I'm saying? Power to be in things that you were actually in agreement with. Totally change your mind about those goddamn things and get on the right track and keep going forward. You see what I'm saying? And to not only to go forward, but to grow forward. This is that, you know what I'm saying? And it's not only just rising things like rising in rank. It's not about that. It's about rising in character. I don't give a damn if you was an officer of 50 and you were still an officer of 50 2-3 years from now. You need to grow in character. You see what I'm saying? In integrity. Things like that. In holiness. That's what this atonement is all about. You see what I'm saying? That's what every atonement is about. And in an atonement, something has to die. You see what I'm saying? God forbid it be you. Something has to die. You see what I'm saying? Whatever it is that, cause you those problems or whatever sin or whatever it is, that has to go. That has to die. You see what I'm saying? Whatever your stumbling block is, it has to die. It has to go. Those things have to die so you can live. You see what I'm saying? They have to go. And everybody knows what theirs is. Let me get back to the scripture. Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls. Now we understand what affliction actually means. And offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, and ye shall do no work in that same day. Now notice it says something, because in the other Sabbath and stuff, it says no servile work. But in this one, it says no work. There's a difference between the two. You see what I'm saying? Why no work on the Day of Atonement? Because the Day of Atonement is a day that you totally afflict yourself. You see what I'm saying? No other burden should be on your mind. Other than, the things that shake everything off of you. You know what I'm saying? So that you can go from the dead to the living. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ooh, this is something heavy right here. You see what I'm saying? When you talk about, this right here, you know what I'm saying, this day right here, if brothers have to go, and do your slavery or whatever, you have no choice because you in this captivity or whatever. But your mind actually should be not inside that work like that. You know what I'm saying? Your mind should actually be inside being free, and that should urge you to want to actually be free from that world and to not love it. It should anger you that you would actually even have to slave in this way. It should have you so badly angered. And that anger should drive you and be a motivational driver to want to lead you to want to be free from this damn place. For when the Lord delivers us from this kingdom, and we end up getting all the riches that come from this kingdom, because that comes along with it. We ain't just come up out this bad boy naked. You know what I'm saying? We ain't come out of Egypt like that. So what makes people think we're gonna come out of this kingdom the same way? You see what I'm saying? We're not going to come out of this kingdom the same. We're going to come out of the kingdom the same way as we came out of Egypt. But we're not going to come out of this kingdom naked. And that's just like when white people talk about, if you don't like this country, then you should get out of the country. You should get out of this country, because what they actually in their mind, when they think of you getting out of this country, they think of you getting out of this country naked, with no clothes, no food, no shelter, without all the things that you would need to survive in this kingdom. They're saying, get out without that. That's what they're actually saying for real. You see what I'm saying? When the Chinese leave this place, and the Arabs leave this place, and the Bosnians and Russians, and all of those Croatian Europeans and all of that leave this place, the East Indians and all of them, the Africans leave this place, they're not going to require that they leave out of here butt naked. But that's the thing that they will require of you, and that's the thing that they consider in your mind that should want to keep you here. See what I'm saying? The white man is a devil that the Bible speaks of. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians join the ISUPK. And let me elaborate on something too, man. The ISUPK has such seasoning and wisdom in certain things that on levels that you never even thought of, because you've always been a slave. The ISUPK has been free since 1969. So people that's a little more seasoned in being free, and if you claim you actually want to be free, don't you think it makes sense that you would actually listen to that, people? It makes total sense. Even though we say some things that might not fit your, that might cause a glitch in your slave system, you have to consider the fact that we have been free since then. You have not. So you might want to consider that. That's a wise man's way of thinking of things. Now, we go back to the scriptures. Verse 30, Leviticus 23 and 30. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, that soul will be destroyed, will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. In all of our dwellings, which means, all the places where the tribes of Israel, all the inheritance of the tribes of Israel, you see what I'm saying? When it talks about all your dwellings, it's not just talking about wherever we at on the earth and whatever servitude that we're under, you know what I'm saying? When the Most High gives us our dwellings, right, everyone will still have their inheritance. You see what I'm saying? And what it is, as far as with, inside this kingdom, everybody has the jobs, and some brothers will be able to get off from those jobs. Some brothers will be able to get off of those jobs or whatever and be able to keep the peace. You see what I'm saying? A lot of brothers will be able to do that, and some brothers will have a job that'll be so messed up where they, will have a serious trouble, with doing that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, though. One thing that we got to do, we got to start to make a stance in things like this that's going to be so strong that we would actually get respect. And that respect will cause the other nations that whom we work for to be like, oh, okay, I get that, I understand, I respect that. Because in their mind, let me tell you what white people think. In white people's mind, when they comply to some type of thing concerning us, right? We coming into the truth, they think, okay, well, if I comply with this, then maybe he might bless me. You see what I'm saying? Let that sink in for a second. What did Pharaoh say to Moses when Moses came and told him, let my people go? You know what I'm saying? And then what did he say? What did Pharaoh say? He said, he hardened his heart. And many times as the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, Pharaoh couldn't help but to say, but bless me also. Now ask yourself the question, why is he asking for a blessing from somebody that comes from the stock of the people that his people totally despise? You see what I'm saying? That his people totally, him and his people can't stand the stench of. Right? But yet he wants a blessing from them. Think about that for a second. Once we come together and stay in our own culture in solidarity, then the heathens, right? Other heathens is going to want to destroy us, but some heathens is going to be like, man, in high positions and be like, man, look, just whatever y'all do, just give me a blessing. And that showed who really was running things between Moses and Pharaoh. Because as the scriptures say, the less is blessed of the greater. So if Pharaoh was asking Moses, who's with these group of slaves of nothings, right? To bless him, who's the one in power? It was Moses. Moses had more power than Pharaoh. Now, let me hit you something. All the prophesying that the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge does on every goddamn corner of the United States of America, right? Just like Moses prophesied about the rivers turning to blood, about the frogs coming, about the plagues coming, about all of that, we prophesying of the same things in all the cities of America. And what that's going to do is going to break people to their knees, and who they going to come to for a blessing? They're going to come to us. So who's going to be in power? When the white people come to us and ask for us to bless them, that's when we know that we in power, and we need to capitalize on that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do. When I mean capitalize on it, I damn sure don't mean taking no goddamn funky ass white woman to white. You leave her the hell out of it. You don't deal with her. You know what I'm saying? Be in order. Understand, she's supposed to be in the background, even though the white man, you deal with that goddamn white man. You see what I'm saying? You deal with him directly. Because we're not servants. We don't have to go around, the man and get at his woman and stuff like that. We're not that kind. We're not that kind of people. That's their strength. That's not ours. We deal with that goddamn man, and that man asked for a blessing, because just like Moses didn't deal with, you know what I'm saying, with the Pharaohs. He didn't deal with none of that, you know what I'm saying? He went straight to Pharaoh himself and set forth his demands. You see what I'm saying? And in response to that, when Pharaoh seen all the plague upon his people, Pharaoh got broken down to the point where he's asking a blessing of the same stock of people that he just can't get, that he wanted to have murdered from the time they was little babies. You see what I'm saying? Just like in the time of Christ. Who wanted to have Christ murdered? Herod, who was also totally in bed with the Romans. You see what I'm saying? Who was Roman in every way. To have Christ murdered. You see what I'm saying? We are type people. We lions. We're not snakes. Let me get back to the scriptures, though. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your soul. And in the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even, shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, well, they're going to go into that. But now we understand what the atonement's about. Also, as we go further into the atonements, we have to understand, you know what I'm saying, that we that are in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, because, we are the only group that the Lord is actually really hearing like that. You know what I'm saying? The army, you know what I'm saying? I hate to put us in a pile of groups, but the other groups are not armies. You see what I'm saying? Just to speak a language where people can understand. We the only ones that the Lord is actually dealing with. The other ones, either they're going to gravitate towards us or they're going to back out. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go off and be something else, and then they're going to back all the way up into the Lord's anger. Just like what happened in the wilderness when you had 250 men that burnt them censers that was on the extremities of the camp, right? And the Lord sent the fire out to burn the hell out of all of them. You see what I'm saying? What they need to be doing, they need to actually be sincerely searching out. During the time of this atonement, who is it that the Lord is actually dealing with? This is something they should be combing and searching their hearts to find out. Because a lot of people know that the groups that they're with is not who the Lord has actually dealt with. Let me tell you one reason why. Let me get the scriptures. Let me tell you. I'm gonna give it to you according to the scriptures of the reason why they know the group that they dealing with is not who the Lord chose. Give me just a second. We're going to go to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. Now, everybody pay attention, especially all of you so-called Israelite groups, Christian groups that are, that are not ISUPK. Take a moment, you know what I'm saying, and listen right quick. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. What does that mean? Well, there's no vision. What is the vision? Because all of these fake Israelite groups can't give you a clear vision. They can't give you a step-by-step plan of what's supposed to go on. You see what I'm saying? Of what's going to happen. And what, what the actual vision is. They can't give you a step-by-step. Let me tell you why. They can't tell you why, because they want to intermingle white people. That clouds the vision. They can't tell you why, because they don't want to admit that the white man is the devil. Because if you take that part out of the vision, then it's not plain. You see what I'm saying? When the scriptures say, write the vision and make it plain, that's not a plain vision. You see what I'm saying? That clouds the vision. And what it's actually doing is sucking you back into the vision of America. That's what it's doing. You see what I'm saying? It's sucking you back into the vision that America has. You see what I'm saying? And that's it. That's what it's doing. That's not, what it's doing is it's not painting a clear vision of the kingdom of the Most High to you. You see what I'm saying? That only involves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You want to enter in whoever it is that you like that's of the heathen world, and that's not the vision. You see what I'm saying? Because that vision right there that you get that's mingled, what it actually does is it actually makes you start to hate the people who the vision is about. So if you hating who the vision is about, then how the hell are you seeing the vision? You're not seeing a vision, you're seeing a perverted version of the vision. It's what you're actually seeing. Let me give you another example. All right? Men that think that their women can esteem high positions and teach and do all of that. You're not making the vision plain. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing, you're perverting the vision also. Because you're putting Jezebel up in the vision, and we see how things went with her. You put Jezebel in that, and you put Athaliah inside the vision, and you see how those things went. You see what I'm saying? And by doing those things, by promoting feminism, which you promote the LGBTQ community, whatever the hell you call that damn rainbow coalition, whatever the gay group, you're putting that right in. You know what I'm saying? It's like a train type deal. And you got the train brings in the boxcars. You know what I'm saying? Well, you put your woman up on the goddamn pulpit, and then you're getting in a boxcar of sodomites. And then, boxcar come in, lesbians, boxcar come in, white men ruling. You know what I'm saying? Boxcar come in of pedophiles. Boxcar come in of drug dealers. Boxcar come in of every damn thing that's vile and goddamn disgusting. That's bringing a train right along with it. You see what I'm saying? So if that's happening, then what's happening with the vision? Huh? If that's happening, what's going on with the vision? Let me tell you what's going on with the vision. The vision is being blurred horribly to the point that when you can't even see it. Let me give you a precept on that. White man's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And that man, he's the chief blinder. You see what I'm saying? He's the chief. Whoredom causes people to go blind, spiritually and physically also. You know? Let me go ahead and give it to you right quick. We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 29, verse 11. Check this out. So you got all of that going on, right? Let me tell you what's happening if you one of these fake Israelite groups. Let me tell you what's going on with you right now. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of you think you know so goddamn much. But guess what? That Christian pastor that don't know none of the Bible, thinking he knows so goddamn much too. You see what I'm saying? And he knows absolutely nothing. He gets cut by Muslims. He gets cut by whatever religion it is. He gets cut by Satanism. A Christian pastor can get cut by a all-out Satanist. I'm talking about the pentagram type, demonic type, Anton LaVey, Church of Satan can cut a Christian pastor to shreds. And that's goddamn pathetic. If you claim to be a man of God and you claim to be in the book, let me tell you why he can do that, because the vision is blurry and it's not made plain before those people. You see what I'm saying? They have actually blinded themselves. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 11. And the vision, wait a minute, hold on, let me go up one, verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. And the prophets and your rulers and the seers hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. That's the blindness right there. That's what happens with all of you. That's what happened with that group that's in Cincinnati. That group that we battled in Cincinnati, the book was sealed unto them. That's why when they tried to go into Genesis, the 25th chapter, and try to break down Esau, they couldn't do it. They kept on running on, and then they only went to that one little part where it talks about food and say, well, see, I know y'all say that the white man is Esau just because it says that he ate the pottage, which y'all say that it's raw meat, but we don't say that, and he couldn't break down anything proving how the white man is not Esau. They're just saying it. You see what I'm saying? They're just saying that the white man is not Esau, but they can't go into the scripture and prove, and then they even went a step further by trying to say, well, I know when y'all trying to prove who Esau is, I know y'all gonna go into Obadiah. Like, yeah, I already know y'all going to Obadiah. Yeah, we're going to go into Obadiah. Just like, because what he tried to do is use some reverse psychology where, trying to make us second guess ourselves, which he doesn't understand that we're actually seasoned veterans, right? But he tried to make us second guess ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So that we wouldn't be like, well, no, we ain't going to use Obadiah then because, obviously he got some cuts in Obadiah. No, he ain't got no goddamn cuts in Obadiah. This is one thing that people need to know. You fake Israelite groups and the fake Christian groups and all of that, what you guys actually are, you're not biblical scholars or any of that. What you actually are is, a lot of you have psychology degrees. You see what I'm saying? You have psychology degree. You actually did on paper what the pimp did in experience. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of pimps didn't have psychology degrees, but they understood psychology very well. Because they understood it by interacting. You see what I'm saying? They understood the mentalities of the Johns, the mentalities of the hoes, you know what I'm saying? The mentality of, you know what I'm saying, the what they call the squares, the men that wasn't pimp or hoe, he was just regular Joe out there. You know what I'm saying? They understood all that, right? And what they did is they navigated within that and found out where they should profit from, right? Just like you fake Israelite groups and the Christian pastors and all of that, just like y'all do inside what y'all call the truth. A lot of y'all got psychology degrees. You see what I'm saying? A lot of you got psychology degrees and y'all study the Negro, and y'all will be the ones that the white people will call on when he want to find out how the Negro's mind actually operates. And you'll tell it to him for a fee. Because you're a goddamn sellout. You're a traitor. You see what I'm saying? That's what you are. That group that we battled in Cincinnati, you know what I'm saying, they call themselves Israel something. They are disgusting. They're sellouts. You see what I'm saying? They have no love for their brothers at all. No love for their brothers and sisters. All they want to do is form their little group, and they have one little man that they have as their king over a congregation of 50 or so. And what's going to happen with them? They're going to eventually just breeze away like a rolling thing in the wind. We gave them an opportunity. We gave them an opportunity. We gave them an opportunity. The Lord gave them an opportunity to make an atonement and to get inside the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised that if after this atonement, we see something in the news or something doesn't happen. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't wish nothing bad on those brothers. I'm not saying that they don't have a choice to repent or nothing like that. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is those brothers actually rejected the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, with them rejecting the truth, we can't do nothing but move the hell off. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, as I was saying, and the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. Man, they giving this, so they giving it to a man that has degrees in theology, a man that's supposed to be learned, a man that studied up under the Christian church. And then what they actually do, they go to Obadiah. They bring that brother to Obadiah and ask him if he can break that down. He goes to Obadiah. He can read it, but he can't explain anything that it's actually talking about. He's struggling. And all of those years of Bible college, all of those years of, being inside the Christian church, thinking that he was up under the best mentors, he can't break down that. He can't break down Habakkuk. Hell, he can't even break down the curses in Deuteronomy 28 chapter and tell you who they even for. Like I was saying, and the vision of all is become unto you as words of a book that is sealed. That's a sign right there. So the books are sealed to your pastor, your leader. You might not be up under the right leadership. Just keeping it all the way real. Now, if your leader decides that he's like, man, he goes into the book and he can humble himself and be like, man, look, I don't know what Obadiah is actually talking about. But what I will do, I will seek into the matter myself. The job of a leader is not to actually know everything. It's not. You know what I'm saying? The job of a leader is not to know everything. That's not the job of a leader. You know what I'm saying? The job of a leader is actually to be an example of humility. If you actually don't know something, simply go to find out the answer. And if he sat there and says to himself, well, hell, my leader don't know this and don't know that. And he decides that he wants to go ahead and be like, I ain't gonna follow you because you don't know this. And if he decides he want to do that then, that's on him. But if you out up and say, I don't know what Obadiah is saying, and I don't care what Obadiah is saying, and he leave from your ass then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That shit's all on you right then. You know? For him leaving you, depending on his intentions, the Lord will deal with that. But that is on you because not only do you not know, ignorance is not a sin. Ignorance is simply means you just don't know something. That's all it means. Like say for instance, as far as being like a glass blower, how to make glass, I'm ignorant of that. I don't know a damn thing about that. So if somebody that looks up to me and comes to me and be like, what do you know about glass blowing? How to make glass? You know, I could be like, simply say, well, I don't know anything about that. You see what I'm saying? Be like, but, if this has some significance and it's something that we can maybe get into, I might go ahead and check on into that. You know what I'm saying? Well, since to have somebody somehow that's going to might be checked upon and to see how this could actually profit or benefit us as a nation. You know, I just use glass blowing as an example, but that's not what I'm actually really talking about. I'm talking about these books of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because the person's supposed to have sound doctrine, which that same group claimed to have sound doctrine. You see what I'm saying? And one dude put on the comment section, he said, sound doctrine, you know, he shared the video and said sound doctrine versus camp doctrine. Now, sound doctrine, he doesn't even understand what sound doctrine even is. Because if he understood what sound doctrine is, the dude that was heading the whole thing should have had the Bible right in front of him. He should have had that Bible right in front of him as his chief book, right along with his Hebrew books and all of that. Instead, he had the books with everybody else. He's supposed to be the one to go in the books. He's the leader, right? He's in the lead seat. He should have the book. You know, if nobody else had the book, he should have it. You see what I'm saying? Well, sure, that's a bad sign as being a goddamn leader. You know what I'm saying? That's a horrible sign as being a leader. But he did have all of these other books. So he purposely decided he was going to keep the Bible out of his arsenal. Think about that for a second. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure he's probably watching, you know what I'm saying, and his group, his followers, y'all know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know what y'all did. Another thing that y'all really know, deep down inside, y'all ain't the ones to lead this nation. Y'all don't have the strength that Commander General Yahara has. Y'all don't have it. Y'all far from having it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all don't have, because one thing, y'all don't have the love, you know what I'm saying, for the people that Commander General Yahara has. So that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Y'all don't have the preparation. Y'all don't have any of that stuff. Those are gigantic problems. So if you really can believe, you know, during this time of atonement, it will be good for you to start to really think about what happened in that battle and that, you know, in that battle that we had with y'all, and really start to think about things for a second. And then, you know, in your quiet place, somewhere in your, you know what I'm saying, wherever it is in your quiet place is at, and go ahead and pour it out to the Lord, because you can fake in front of us. You know what I'm saying? But it's best that you don't fake in front of him. You go ahead and pour it out. You know what I'm saying? and understand that you don't have what it takes. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have what it takes, that's no strike against you if you're able to repent of that. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead and support the people that actually do have what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Lord, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna hold that against you. But if you continue to go on in your madness and to think that in your strive for power, then you're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get dealt with, and you know what? I do believe that it will be done in the sight of everybody that follows. You see what I'm saying? It will be done in their sight, and they will be able to see what happened to you. And the ones that follow you closely like that, a lot of your judges varying on degree, the Lord will deal with them too. You see what I'm saying? Just like it says, smite the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. And the Lord said, after that, then I will turn my hand upon the little ones. You see what I'm saying? This thing that we're doing is no joke. This truth is no goddamn joke. This is the separation of a nation. This is a birth of a nation. That's what this is. You know what I'm saying? Not the birth of every group that thinks that they got the truth, that thinks that want to splinter themselves off and be a bunch of different groups and a bunch of different confusions and all of that. It's time for you during this time of atonement to see where it is that you're actually supposed to be at. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. And for all of you fake groups out there that celebrate the atonement, that don't believe in the 12 tribes and all of that, don't believe in the 12 tribes chart, what is your basis behind not believing it? Because if you believe something, you have to have a reason. And it goes on the same. It's the same way the other way. If you don't believe something, you have to have a reason. You have to have a reason to believe, and you have to have a reason not to believe. That's how the things work. You know what I'm saying? That's how the things work. But I believe that this camera is actually working, even though I cannot see it working. I believe that it's working based upon on the expertise of the brother that set the goddamn camera up. I have a reason for believing that. You see what I'm saying? That's a reason to believe. That's how we gotta operate. We have to have a reason for believing something and a reason for not believing something. If you have a reason for believing that the 12 tribes chart is true, you can break down that reason. And if you can't break that reason down, hell, you can call us up. We'll give you in-depth knowledge. You know what I'm saying? To where you will be an assassin when it comes to breaking down each tribe by tribe. You see what I'm saying? And for brothers that don't believe that the 12 tribes chart is true, you got to do the opposite. You got to do the counterpart of that. You got to be able to step by step prove how it is not true. If you can't do that, then what you're saying is incredible. You're just only going on with what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. And here's the funny thing about it, because all you niggas that don't believe that the native, that the Indians ain't, you believe that the Indians ain't Israelites and all of that. During this time of atonement, what you actually need to do is you need to search yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know, you believe that salvation is for all, but you're excluding the native Indians out. I don't understand that. Especially when a lot of you niggas claim that your grandmothers were Indians. So you saying that your great-grandmother was a heathen. Is that what you're saying? You saying that your great-grandmother would claim to be Indian, and you claim to have all of this Indian in your goddamn family. So obviously you claiming that your family members are heathens, and they're not Israelites, and you are. All it takes is for this is how so easily destroyed your dumbass doctrine is. Let me show you how easily destroyed your stupid ass doctrine is. Because you could be sitting in a class teaching that, and your petty ass strength ability, what you think is strength, your grandmother could walk her behind right in there, you know what I'm saying, claiming to be an Indian, and you will give her honor as an Israelite. Now, you know what I'm saying? You will say that she's part Indian, and you will say that she's an Israelite. You see what I'm saying? You see how flimsy your whole belief system is? Your belief system is so flimsy that it's crazy. Your whole goddamn belief system is shaky as hell. You know what I'm saying? And then what do? You bounce back and say, well, it's all your Hitler, he embraces everybody. Well, then if that's the case, then why the hell are you trying to exclude them from the 12 tribes chart then? You know what I'm saying? And trying to say the 12 tribes chart is wrong when the 12 tribes chart states that they are Israelites, and your grandmother, who you say is an Indian, you will give her the honor as an Israelite, and you will say that she's Israel. Now, give me some feedback on that. I want a battle. Give me a battle. Think about yourself during this time of atonement. Y'all hate y'all's goddamn people. You want to talk about who the tribe? You don't even know who the hell you are. A lot of you claim to be we the tribe of Yehuda. We the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? You saying all that. How the hell did you find that out? See what we saying? We be dancing. Oh, singing and dancing. And that proves you as being the tribe of Judah, huh? Plenty of people sing and dance. Well, just how good we do it now. You got to prove that with the Bible. You're supposed to be Bible based, ain't you? You can get cut by. This is why so many of y'all are getting smoked by Hamites. Y'all getting smoked by Hamites in the Bible. How the hell you gonna get smoked by a goddamn Igbo in the Bible? You get smoked by a goddamn Philistine in your own book. Because he can sit there and say that he's that, and you'll say, yes, he's the Igbo is an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? You'll sit there and say that garbage right there. Man, look, and he'll sit there and become a leader over you. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, those groups are so goddamn pathetic. Now, this is how pathetic your groups are. The Hamite knows that he can come among you and be king. But he doesn't want to do it for the most part. Not unless he's like this whole bottom barrel Hamite that was ostracized from his people. He was a goddamn murderer. Or something like that. He was like the worst stock. He was a murderer. He was a goddamn sodomite or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time that he would even consider coming among you and being inside your congregation, because he is an animal in his own. He done transgressed his own goddamn people so horribly to where they ostracize him and cut him off from them. So he thinks to himself, well, damn, I'm cut off from the Igbos. So where can I go? The Ethiopians. Shit, I know I can't deal with them. All the 50 countries in Africa and all the different ethnic groups, they're not going to accept me. So he's like, I guess, I'd rather be king of the apes, than be a criminal among all the other African nations and tribes. So I guess I'll end up in a Christian black church, where he'll go and he'll be top deacon, and he'll get him a Hebrew wife. As a matter of fact, he'll get the most beautiful Hebrew wife. The one that's nice looking, really nice looking, and all of that, he will get her. You know, even though he despises her, look at her as dirt, regardless of how pretty she is. People are judged based on their people. The respect that your people have is what respect you're gonna have when you go anywhere goddamn where else. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, your ass better be able to jump, do 3 cartwheels and a 360, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Or be able to knock a bear out, you know what I'm saying, before you get any honor or any goddamn respect among these damn places. You see what I'm saying? This is how things work. The lowest people doesn't get the top picks of any goddamn other nation. But as I was saying though, him being the goddamn criminal among his own goddamn people, you know what I'm saying, will be able to be king over you. And that's his last resort. That's why you don't see Africans in black churches. That's why you don't see it. Because he would rather be a regular man among the damn regular people than to be goddamn king of the catfish. You see what I'm saying? Because the king of a catfish is still a catfish. Think about that for a second. You'll get it tomorrow. This time of atonement, it's time that we need to sit there and think and reevaluate the shit that we do. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluate the mindsets that we goddamn have. Reevaluate the blonde hair that's slapping in your goddamn head. Reevaluate those things. Reevaluate you dyeing your goddamn hair green. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you do what you do, why you claiming to be in the truth. Reevaluate those things. Whose customs do you love? Let me tell you something. As vile as the goddamn Jewish Amalekite man is, now, when all of these women, all of these regular white women dyeing their goddamn hair red and dyeing it blonde, and then black women going and you know, all them dyeing their goddamn hair, the Jewish man said, y'all ain't gonna do that shit. Because Jewish women was trying that at first, trying to follow the way of the world. But the Jewish man understood something. How you gonna sit there and follow a goddamn slave when you supposed to be a ruler? That's what he understood. The Black, Hispanics, Native Indians on this Day of Atonement, I'm gonna ask your ass the same question. How the hell are you gonna run around as a goddamn catfish when you're supposed to be a soaring bird? You see what I'm saying? A hawk. You know, a hawk can dash in the water and then get up out the water. You know, I mean, you got birds that can actually goddamn swim, but is that where the primary place where they're supposed to be? I ain't never seen no goddamn hawk alive at the bottom of the goddamn river. You know what I'll tell you what you do see? You see catfish there. You see the goddamn bottom feeder there. You wasn't built to be no goddamn bottom feeder. Pardon my language. You wasn't built to be that. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be a lion, not a goddamn dog. With that being said, matter of fact, I think I'm gonna run for a little bit longer. Yeah, I don't want to clip it just yet. Okay, I'm gonna continue with verse 11. which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. That's what your Christian pastors and everything is going to say to you. They can't because it is sealed. And anybody that actually can go into those books that I mentioned, they got that whole thing from One West. They got that whole breakdown from One West. One West, the Lord used One West and brought One West the key to unlock the mysteries. There is no unlocking of any of these mysteries in all these 66 books in the Bible without One West. There is none. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why the people that say that they, off the chart, they can't, deal with the 12 tribe chart. That's because they don't have the key. The key wasn't given to them. You see what I'm saying? The key was unlocked by One West, but once the secrets was unlocked, brothers just sat in, took it in, and sat their classes, took it all in, and then ran and started their own goddamn thing. The unlocking of this book came straight out of One West. That's why the Lord said, I give you a key. What does a key do? A key unlocks things. Every book in this Bible has a door. You see what I'm saying? And actually, the book actually has a master key to it. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you see that book of Eli, the movie, the book of Eli, at the end of the movie, you had that tyrant white man, right? And that white man, that's why I like the book of Eli so much, because it spoke so much volumes and so many levels of truth. The only thing they added in that dumb white war, which that right there also had its significance to it also. You know what I'm saying? But, what happened with that was, at the end of the movie, that white man that was that tyrant, that kingpin, had the book, and it was in a box, and it had a lock to it. But the only thing, he did not have the key. Neither does your Christian pastor have the key. You see what I'm saying? What does the key do? The key unlocks mysteries. It unlocks mysteries, and understanding is a master key that unlocks all 66 books, actually 80 books, the Bible and Apocrypha. It unlocks the mysteries of it. You see what I'm saying? And those unlocking of those mysteries, you're not going to get it without One West teachings. You're never going to get it without that. So for all you people, think about these are things to think about in your day of atonement. But if you get the key, if you get the unlocking of these mysteries, don't be a goddamn treacherous pig, man. Give back and give honor to where you got it from. Because where you got that from is who the Lord was actually using. You see what I'm saying? Who you got it from is who you should actually be with. Who it all, boils down to. You see what I'm saying? That's who you should be with. That's who you should be. I don't give a damn what you agree with or disagree with. You don't agree with multiple wives. So what? You take one wife. No problem. That's your stock. Hell, you can teach your sons, you can put them, y'all have one wife. No, so what? You know what I'm saying? But you can't sit there and deny the fact that the key to the unlocking of these mysteries come from the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge. It does. Check the pedigree, man. Everything done in the Bible, it has to do with pedigree. These are things to think about the time of your atonement. I'm giving you jewels right now. I'm giving you things that you should think about. Really start to consider these things. Really start to think about these things, because these are the things that this Day of Atonement is about. If you in the purple group, or you in the next clan, But whatever the case is, man, think about this stuff because you people have roots out of here, and you wouldn't be unlocking any mysteries in this Bible if it wasn't for One West. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like you could take and leave off One West because what happens is, let me tell you what happens. If you come out of the group, you're going to seem to have some power for a little while. But then what's going to end up happening is, as you go farther and further down the line, that thing is going to be harder and harder because of the transgressions and the, you know what I'm saying, and the deceptions and all of that. So that's going to make that walk is going to be harder and harder and harder. And the leadership and all of that is going to become harder. Everything, and you're going to start to compromise in this area. And then you're just going to become this monstrosity at the end. And then the Lord is going to go ahead and take you on out. You're going to be you're going to be the clay that the sculptor potted, and the damn thing just ain't forming right. You know what I'm saying? You know, because it won't do what the potter is actually, you know, molding it to do. What's the potter got to do with it? You got to take that pot and break the goddamn thing. It goes in the potter's ground. And to never to be remembered again. And that's what's going to happen with a whole lot of these goddamn fake-ass groups, you know what I'm saying? The ones that don't repent and come inside the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. I don't give a damn about the disagreements that you have with this place. This is where things are supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave it. This is not something you can just goddamn divorce. You know what I'm saying? You can't just divorce this trope. You can't divorce your nation. And I don't give a damn how big your goddamn groups is out there, how famous your groups seem to be, or whatever the goddamn case is. If you led into that deception based on that, you seem to be prospering so goddamn much, let me get you in on something. It could be the Lord's ready to kill your ass. I'm just saying. If you seem to be prospering so much, and it seems like you're so blessed and all this, the Lord could be, you know, using this as an occasion to go ahead and set you on up and kill your ass. I'm just saying. Atonement always, like I said, atonement always has to do with death too. You know what I'm saying? Day of Atonement always has to do with death. Either you're going to die, or you're going to repent and kill a part of your goddamn self. That's what that whole, you know, being, you know, getting circumcised is really all about. Cutting off that thing that is unprofitable. You know what I'm saying? It's unprofitable unto you. In the past, it was done with our foreskin, symbolizing the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Because that extra skin on the side of the rod is not profitable for anything. It doesn't protect nothing. It doesn't do any of that. You know what I'm saying? It has no real purpose. That's why the Lord had us cut that thing, you know, off. It's not the real religion, but it's a covenant in the flesh. And that thing has no real purpose. What happens to it once it gets cut off? It's set, you know what I'm saying? It looks like some type of prune, some goddamn work. And it just, you know what I'm saying? It gets destroyed, it gets done away with. It's through, and your whole rod becomes a new, you know what I'm saying, thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, the same thing with this nation. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with this time of atonement to cut off those goddamn things. You know what I'm saying? Let those goddamn things die. Let them wither, let them rot, let them die. There's nothing you can do about it. Bury it, let it go so that you can go ahead and be brand new because you don't want to goddamn go with it. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, we are the ISCBK coming out of One West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Pay your tithes. For your offering, support the men inside this troop, the soldiers that's out there battling for you, the soldiers that are out there that make sure that your people have a voice. You see what I'm saying? That there's somebody speaking up on the behalf of the downtrodden people that no goddamn body wants to speak up for, that everybody wants to muffle their voice. Support the men that are actually doing that. I don't give a damn if you're in here or not. Support the men that are in here because you're supposed to be a part of this nation. You see what I'm saying? Hell, not everybody's a goddamn warrior. Not everybody's a battle-hardened man. But everybody's supposed to be part of this nation that is of this nation. And with that being said, shalom.